Welcome to another video on my pneumatic hand, robotic arm and wrist with the robo interface controller and extension and the pneumatic compressor. Last time I changed the setup of the engine, the yaw engine, that controls the yaw movement of the wrist, and this is the yaw movement from right to left and vice versa. Now the problem was earlier that the winch was not really reliable, so I replaced it, and in order to have that mechanically work with the gear, I had to replace this and construct this. It doesn't look very nice, but it works. The only problem now is there has to be some wire in it, and previously I used some rope. More specific, this and this, although a nice idea, it doesn't work with this winch. So now the question is, will this cord work? Well, first of all I have to get it inside it, which is no easy task. And let me try to get some better lighting. It is in it, but will it get through? Is the big question. No, it's not even in it. So the best way probably is to use a needle for it, but that's another good question. Where do I get a needle? So another question is, this motor has to get on touching by this here, stop and then reverse direction, and that is another point, because I have to change the software for this. So probably using a status, that once it hits it, it sets a status left or a status right, and then go vice versa. And that of course has to be tested, but it can't be tested using the diagnosis, because then I have to do things manually, and this is something that really has to be tested using the actual program, which brings another problem forward. Last time I tried to get everything working, and either the vertical gearbox, switch 9 and 10, were just completely operative, and only when I pressed this several seconds it suddenly started working, and in the end only this worked and that, and the vertical gearbox didn't. So all in all there are some parts that need attention. Which gets me back to that blue nylon cord. I have to find a way to really get it in the into the winch. So let's find something to do that. I finally got the wire through, and including some windings, around the winch. So now it's time to actually get things guided. Now this gap is not really wide enough for these two guides, so I imagined that I put one on an elevated position. So this one would go, say, here, and this one would go like this. So putting the wire through, inserting the guide here, and of course this one has yet to be put through. This wire in, and then you find that, oops, the wire isn't here long enough. Alright, that is better. And now I come to the next thing. How do I mount it on the plate of the hand? Well, this is obviously not a good solution. So in comes this one, which is almost the same as this, just a little bit thinner and with two holes, of which I will use the top one. And I will use it in this way. And then, yeah, how to fix it? Well, let me use for now this one. Alright, so this is wired. The question is it wired good enough? Well, only time will tell for now. And then I will still have to do this one. On the other hand, this gives also time to see how this works. But first things first. And unfortunately, this is still a pretty long wire. So let me fix that first. Now everything is wired. This one, as I showed you, and here it is now the same thing. I hope it's robust enough that it keeps its way. So let's first do it manually with the diagnostics, see if it can give some kind of yaw movement. And in order to do that, I see one problem already. It barely scratches the gear. So how to fix that? That is the question. Well, the problem is probably that now it's not free to move. Okay, as soon as there is too much, that much tension that it will move. It doesn't move as freely as thought. So, does this move or does that move? And actually it should. And what about if we bring this lower? Then this has not enough tension, and this, yeah. So this is the ultimate movement. This is tense and this is tense. So it should be possible. The question is, of course, in this case, this is tense and this isn't. So, if I straighten this up, how will it go then? Let's see again. It works, but it doesn't give enough to do anything. That's worrying. Alright, what to do next? Apart from trying to fix this, let's concentrate on the direction change of the motor. So, if this touches, this one should change direction. Let's see about that. I adapted the algorithm and introduced a yaw status, which I have set here. Yaw status will be starting as 0. So if digital 11 is true, if the switch is pressed, then print that it is pressed. Then if your status is 0, this is still the old code, so it goes right and then stops, and then changes your status to 1. However, if your status is 1, then go the other direction. So this should be quite alright. The only thing that matters is now a test. So let's do just that, and I already deactivated the diagnosis interface. So let's see how this will work out, if it works out, of course. The only point being, how long will you do it? Well, the arm pivot works, the base pivot actually. And the rest shows no sign of working. So this is not very promising. Let me press a switch. Alright. Oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. This is exactly the same thing as... Alright, so what happens is that the pivot of the wrist starts shaking. And actually, I think I will have to reverse something. The question is, what do I have to reverse? That's a very good question. Let me see what I have to do. What does it cause? Now it's the same thing. Only the base of the arm is moving, nothing else. Something is moving, but what is moving? It stops. So now I press the switch again, being detected. And the yaw motor moves. I release the switch. Oh, now I see what is happening. The pivot of the wrist doesn't work at all. It's not moving either way, which it did, but this is not good. And this is, I think, a matter of time, or more appropriately, timing. What I should also do is change sleep to 1 second. Because these are also 1 second, and when I go here, it's always 1 second. So I think it's best to keep the sleeping time every time 1 second. Then again, how does it work? I will hold the yaw switch for a moment. And everything immediately stops when I release the yaw switch. So something is not quite right. Let's have a look at the camera. So there is a problem with the timing of the switches, and with this being the yaw switch, and this being the pivot switch of the wrist. That one, and let's see, so that one is the pivot switch of the base of the arm, which works anytime. This one doesn't work always, and this one doesn't seem to work always as well. So let's start the program again and see whatever happens. So as you can see, the arm of the base works. Now I press this one. Here this works. Alright, now mind this stops. And I notice another problem. So alright. So why doesn't it work? It doesn't work this way. It stops before actually moving the pivot. That's new. Why doesn't that work? Now it works. I touched the pivot motor. And now I have a problem. Now I have a big problem. It has passed the pivot. So I have to stop the program. This is not good at all. Let me first try to fix the wiring to the motor. This is a problem I didn't see coming at all. Right, this is fixed, but now I have to put the pivot, this construction back here. Why did it slip? That is a very good one. Can I move this without electricity? Yes, I can. It should have stopped, but it didn't. Let me try again. All right. That's not good. This is not good. So this construction is not without flaws. It should be here, and it is here. And why is that? Means I have now several more worries. This isn't always working. The switch isn't always working. Well, it is working but not always detected. And now this. Time to rethink and maybe redesign. Okay, some thoughts. I think this is two-way down. And let me show you. So this one should not be here, but rather be here, since it's always hanging down, and this is, I think, much better. So retention. Now another problem is here, this has gone, that is the other side of the yawl. This one has gone, well, without tension. Why? I do not know, but this side has to go the same way as this one. Which is here. Is this better? Well, not necessarily, because this guide is lower than that one. So let me guess here. But it should always be let's see, this is fully drawn. Now it's not, but it should always be under tension. So just maybe, and then this one is not good. So in this situation, this might be drawn okay, now there is more tension. This is under tension. But is this good? Is this good? Also, will this stay as it should be? Let me just put the pivot like this is, and not the yaw motor, only this motor, which is motor 3, I think. So opening the diagnostics, slave, motor 3. Yeah. So what is a good speed anyway? I think this would be a reasonable speed, which is speed 2. Then the yaw motor, which is again just touching and not really doing anything. So that's not good. But how to fix it, that is another question. Okay, going to the code, closing the interface for now. The pivot motor is set to which speed anyway? 3. And yes, it is set to 3, which is in itself a good speed, so that's no problem. This shows not a real problem as well, although it shouldn't go further there. This is fine, but this is a real problem. And I think I will leave this for next time, including the fact that the whole of the vertical gearbox didn't move this time, which it did last time. So change of algorithm, is that good enough? I don't know. Anyway, for now, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Twitter, retweet and like. You can also follow me on Instagram and like. On YouTube, Twitter and Instagram, please leave a comment. I appreciate it. I will respond back. You can please donate to keep videos coming to you. You can also become a patron and have your name mentioned depending on the pledge you make. More information, see my website. And this is going to be continued, obviously. For now, bye bye.